Hello, everyone. Hello. This is Alexandra Levine live with the America's Pulse Network. You are all in tonight with me, Alexandra Levine. Breaking news, everybody. Breaking news. It is right down there in the ticker. Congressman James Comer names President Bill Clinton as the prime suspect in the Epstein investigation. As you all know, people were freaking out that President Trump wasn't dealing with this. He wanted to poo-poo it. He didn't want to even deal with it. The truth is that the president got other people to deal with it. So this doesn't consume his presidency. So now you have James Comer, who's the head of the House Oversight Committee. He is taking matters into his own hands. Remember, President Trump said that he was open to a special counsel, a special prosecutor, to reveal who were the people behind what was going on with the pedophilia on Epstein Island. We know in the logs that President Clinton went to Epstein's Island. He went on the Lolita Express. His Secret Service was there with him. This is a big deal. But the question is, what is going to happen? They can try to subpoena Bill and Hillary Clinton. I'm like, don't subpoena them. Put them directly in jail. We know that President Bill Clinton is a pedophile. We know that his wife, Hillary Rodham Clinton, with her lover, Huma Abedin, who worked for her, who's now married to Alex Soros. Alex Soros is gay, by the way. Interesting marriage. Was over there with them. Was over there on the island with Epstein, with children. It is known. I say put Bill Clinton and the Clintons in handcuffs. Enough is enough. Put Barack Hussein Obama in handcuffs. Enough is enough. Barack Hussein Obama also committed treason too. But this is big news. But again, the question goes to James Comer. Is he going to arrest the Clintons once and for all? Is he bringing Bill Clinton in? What is to happen? This is big news, guys. But the question is, where's Doug Band? Doug Band was President Clinton's right-hand man. You couldn't get through to Bill Clinton without getting through to Doug Band. Doug Band was the CEO of a company called Teneo. When he exposed the Clintons to a mainstream media reporter, an MSNBC reporter, he fled real fast. And he left being the CEO of Teneo. He gave up his law. He gave up working at his law practice in New York and is now in hiding. He's married with children. He doesn't even communicate with them. Doug Band is from Sarasota, Florida. His father is David Band, known attorney, also accused of racketeering in Sarasota and doing some salacious activities in Sarasota, his law firm. I can tell you something about the Bands. They know how to get out of trouble, and they know how to cover their own butts. Let's bring Doug Band in. Let's subpoena him. Let's get the real story, because Doug Band actually told Bill Clinton not to go on the island, not to get on the Lolita Express. And Doug Band and Chelsea Clinton didn't get along at all. Didn't get along at all. And he exposed her and exposed the controversy between him and Chelsea Clinton with that MSNBC reporter. It was a big article years ago. But again, what is to happen with the Clintons? My question to my audience, what do you want to happen with Bill and Hillary Clinton? Do you want them to go to jail? Do you want them subpoenaed? Do you think that Congress is going to do anything? Do you think the Senate's going to do anything? This is a big deal. Remember, President Trump does not want this over his head, doesn't want this to consume his presidency, so he's having other people do the dirty work. Smart man, smart move. But this is big news, guys, big news. The second breaking news, and we'll put up that slide, at Real Donald Trump. President Trump is PO'd at the Federal Reserve guy, Jerome Powell. Of course, President Trump picked him because of his former Secretary of Treasury, Steve Mnuchin, recommended him, said he was great. Then we find out the guy's not great. He won't lower the interest rates. And it's taking how many years to rebuild the buildings, the federal buildings? And $50 million? $50 million in over 5 years. President Trump said this is a waste of our time, waste of our taxpayer dollars. He said, when I got the hotel in Trump Tower, Trump Hotel in D.C., which I've stayed at, by the way. It was a beautiful hotel. Now the Waldorf Astoria owns it. I know President Trump's going to take that hotel back. It only cost him $200 million, and he revised it right away. I mean, this is insane what Jerome Powell is doing. He's screwing we the people. That's why the gas prices were up. That's why people couldn't afford groceries, because of Jerome Powell. President Trump has asked this man to resign, and he won't budge. He wants to stay out his term. President Trump said if he doesn't resign, he's going to sue him. And I think he should. He's not doing the job of the people. He doesn't give a darn. He's a deep state guy. It is well known. President Trump didn't realize he was a deep state guy when he appointed him. Remember, President Trump, he trusted the wrong people in his first term. He found that out later. Now he's really finding out who are the good people. That's why he wants Jerome Powell out and his proper people in there to lower the interest rates and to get the American people back on track. But this is a big thing. I don't know if we've ever had in the history of our nation a president threaten to sue a Federal Reserve guy. I know that President Trump wants to get rid of the Federal Reserve. That's a big thing. I know he wants to eventually remove the IRS, get rid of the IRS. That's a goal of his as well. But we'll see if Jerome Powell leaves. He thinks that he's the authority here. He's not. He's not the commander-in-chief. If I was Jerome Powell, I would leave. He's not going to win. He's not going to win this battle here, and he's definitely not going to win the war. So if I was him, I would step down and step down now and stop embarrassing himself. Third breaking news. This is very, very important, guys. Very, very important. As you know, Texas and Florida have been talking about redistricting their states because they got screwed in this 2020 census. Now they want to push more Republican districts. They want to get rid of the Democrat current districts and turn them all Republican, which means in the state of Texas, that Representative Jasmine Crockett will be out of a job. Good. She's a moron. She's an idiot. Everything that comes out of her mouth is dumb. Representative Al Green from Texas, another moron, another idiot. Everything that comes out of his mouth is dumb. He's the one that tried to obstruct President Trump during his presidential address to the nation. These are Democrats that didn't stand for a young 13-year-old child who's battling brain cancer. These are Democrats that didn't stand for a woman who lost her husband, who was fighting for our nation. These are Democrats that didn't stand for the lives of Lincoln Riley and Jasleen and innocent Americans that died from illegal criminals that were poured into this country by Joe Biden and Kamala Harris and George Soros and Obama and so forth. So let's get rid of these Democrats. And of course, the Democrats are all freaking out and they walk out. They think what the Republicans are doing is illegal and wrong. Not true at all. The Democrats have been doing this for years. They gerrymander and redistrict all the time. I talk about Maryland because I have a residency here. The Democrats heavily gerrymandered the state of Maryland. So we only have one Republican in Congress. Out of the 8 congressional districts, District 1 is Congressman Andy Harris, Republican. But now the liberal states with the Republican leadership are trying to get on board and redistrict and re-gerrymander. Because again, we have to stop the fraud. We have to have free and fair elections. And we know that the 2020 election was stolen from President Trump and from we the people. So I'm sorry, Jasmine Crockett, if you have a problem with this. The vote came out today. The new U.S. House maps in Texas, the Texas Senate passed a vote 19-2. Now the maps head to the Texas House for a final vote. Now this could be taken all the way up to the Supreme Court, and let's see what the Supreme Court does. Again, a question to my audience. Do you want this to happen? Do you think what the Republicans are doing is wrong? Or are you sick and tired of the Democrats gerrymandering and redistricting your districts to their favor? Taking a Republican district and just putting a sliver of some liberalism in there to screw you, the people, over. This happened in CD6 in Maryland. CD6, and I've said this before, their district is all of Western Maryland, which is heavily Republican, with a sliver of Frederick County, which was red. Now it's turning purple. Now it's turning towards blue. But then they slip a little bit of Montgomery County in there to really screw the people. Montgomery County is extremely liberal. It's a sanctuary city. They have a lot of illegals that vote in Montgomery County. A lot of people that are 15, 16 years old that vote. A lot of people that vote twice. Remember, in the majority of these liberal states, if not all liberal states, they do not require photo ID to vote. So the Democrats just keep screwing with the people. But these are Republican states now, Republican state legislations and Republican state legislators, which head up the body of these states, and they're winning. The state of Florida is going to do the same thing. The state of Florida is going to gain at least 2 more Republican congressional districts. And if they have to redistrict the Democrats out, they will. Because we see what the Democrat Party is turning into: a party of socialism, a party of lies, a party of supporting illegal criminals, a party of combating ICE, a party of defunding the police, a party of allowing the rise of anti-Semitism. It's disgusting. It's disgusting how the Democrat Party has changed so much. And so many people are leaving the Democrat Party because they've hashtag had enough of the BS. They say that it's not my party anymore. Not my party. And I agree. That's why I work with the hashtag Jexit organization, which stands for Jews Jexiting the Democrat Party, but also Christians and minorities as well. A lot of Jewish people left the Democrat Party because of the rise of anti-Semitism in this country. A lot of Jewish people flipped in Florida. They flipped Miami-Dade from D to R because of the rise of anti-Semitism and because they saw that President Donald J. Trump cares about the Jewish community. It's really sad. It's really sad that the Democrats have turned so far left over the last several years. So nobody should think it's weird that moderate Democrats want to leave the Democrat Party and become Republican. But that's why it's so important, guys. It's so important that we get the right people in office and that we make sure that the MAGA conservative districts don't become Democratic districts and don't have rhinos invade. Because once you get these rhinos and Democrats in, you cannot get them out. And that's our breaking news. Now going into segment 1. Segment 1 is making DC safe again. President Trump had a huge press conference yesterday morning at 10 a.m. with Attorney General Pam Bondi, with the Secretary of Defense, Pete Hegseth. The new U.S. Attorney, Judge Jeanine Pirro, was there, with many other people. And of course, my friend, Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt. President Trump said we are cracking down on the crime in D.C. And as he said, make D.C. safe again. And he is 100% correct. They've already got in the D.C. National Guard in there. They've already gotten troops in there today. They literally were there today. And what happened Monday night? What happened? Another shooting. Another killing of an innocent young man in D.C. I can tell you, D.C. is a cesspool for crime. As a young single Jewish woman, I would never in my life walk around the streets of D.C. by myself. Even if I walked around with other people, I'd still feel unsafe. And of course, they have pro-Hamas protests and pro-Hamas events happening all over D.C., where they hurt innocent Jewish lives and they hurt innocent Americans and American Christians. DC is supposed to be a place where we're supposed to come and visit the museums and visit the history and go to the mall. It's not that way anymore. It hasn't been that way since Barack Hussein Obama. And President Trump sees how DC has fallen since he left the Oval Office, and all the graffiti that's there and the hilaria that surrounds it. And he's hashtag had enough. But of course, the stupid mainstream media and the fake news, they say, oh, crime is down in DC. Crime is down. Judge Jeanine Pirro says crime is down. Where? You're going to tell the parents of the 2 innocent Jewish lives that were murdered outside the Capitol Museum that the crime is down? You're going to tell Big Balls' parents that the crime is down? He got beat up innocently for no reason? You're going to tell people that have been killed, murdered, tortured, raped in DC that the crime is down? Where are they coming up with these numbers? They're lying to we the people. Just like the Baltimore City mayor lies to the people, the Baltimore City Council president, Wes Moore, they all lie and say that crime is down in Baltimore, and it's not. Maybe down a little bit, but not down drastically enough. That's why they rated Baltimore one of the 3rd worst murderous cities in the nation. That's why Baltimore County is now a sanctuary county. I can tell you that I've emailed the president and his team repeatedly about Baltimore and about a lot of liberal cities and states, showing them the statistics, showing them the crime. That's why he came out saying that Baltimore is a sanctuary county. But of course, you have a crazy liberal mayor in DC, Mayor Bowser, that was trying to combat what President Trump was doing. And we'll put up the second slide on that. Eric Dautry, breaking news. It says, it has just been revealed that DC Mayor Bowser has looked into all legal options to prevent President Trump's takeover. But it turns out everything President Trump does is legal and constitutional. So Mayor Bowser was actually trying to combat President Trump and Judge Jeanine instead of working with them, trying to figure out and lie and say that what President Trump is doing is unconstitutional. Does she not know the powers of the commander-in-chief? Does she not want to keep her city safe? Oh, wait a minute. It looks good if her city is bad. She gets more money. She gets a kickback. Anytime somebody dies in her city, anytime somebody gets off for a hate crime, she gets more money. Same thing with the Baltimore City mayor. The Baltimore City mayor said nothing when a pro-lifer was brutally attacked by two idiots out of nowhere. He was in front of Planned Parenthood. This was a year ago. He almost lost his eye. And the vigilantes were arrested. And guess what? They weren't sentenced to life in prison. They got off scot-free. They're on house arrest, probation. They beat the guy up to death. He didn't say anything to them. He didn't threaten their lives. This was no self-defense. These thugs beat up this pro-lifer in Baltimore City. Just because he's pro-life. But that's how it is in DC. You have Code Pink running around DC. They've hurt people too. And again, you have pro-Hamas people all over DC. Hundreds of thousands of them, 300,000 of them. They put an event together like that. And they cause a lot of crap. The colleges too. The colleges in DC, Maryland, it's all on these liberal leadership's watch. How they've allowed Gaza encampments all over the universities, and they've allowed these people that don't even live in this country, that have overstayed their visas. They've allowed them to start hilaria and hate speech and hurt and killed innocent lives. Why wouldn't Mayor Bowser want to work with President Trump to make her city safe? Why wouldn't Governor Wes Moore and Baltimore City Mayor Brandon Scott and Zeke Cohen, why wouldn't they want to work with President Trump to keep their city and their county safe and their state safe? Why wouldn't Governor Kathy Hochul of New York want to keep New York safe? And why in the hell would anybody want to vote for Mondami, a known socialist communist who really wants to hurt the people of New York City, including Jews, including Christians, including people that are not like him? It's really sad that we're living in a country where if we walk down the streets, we have to be in fear of our lives. That's why it's very important to carry a firearm wherever you can. People have called, especially 2A people, they've called that we should be able to carry a gun in all 50 states, including Washington, D.C. Would that ever happen? Question to my audience. Do you agree with that approach? Most people, as we see, are saved when they have a firearm or they have some type of protection on them. But the truth is that President Trump now has the right people in place. And he can call the National Guard at any time to make DC safe again. And what has President Trump already, what has he already done? What has he done in the last couple of days? Let's put up the third slide. It says the White House has a multi-agency task force, and they're hitting the streets of DC. That happened today, by the way. Remember, President Trump wants to make DC safe and beautiful. They've already arrested 37 criminals. seized 11 illegal firearms, and issued 4 narcotic charges. That only happened in just 24 hours. He's already put the forces together with Pete Hegseth to make sure that DC is safe. And they're just going to keep arresting the criminals. And ICE is on this too, with Kristi Noem and Border Czar Thomas Holman. Again, if you know of any illegal criminal in your area, you can call ICE at any time. I've called ICE. Our friend Tim Fazenmaker has called ICE. He's removed illegals from his Home Depot in Dundalk. It can be done. Safety should be a priority to everyone in this country, whether you're an elected official, a candidate, or just a regular everyday American. It's that whole concept. If you see something, say something. You don't just stand there and film somebody getting beat up. You intervene, you call the police, you do everything you can to protect innocent lives. There was a video of an African-American guy. He pulls his pants down and shows his genitalia on a subway. This was in the UK. And there's children on the subway and he doesn't care. And these 2 white guys are like, dude, pull your pants up. Pull them up. There's children here and you're showing your private parts to the world. And people are filming this. You don't film it, you do something about it. But the 2 white guys, to their credit, they told the guy to pull his pants up. He wouldn't do it. He was combative, and they beat the crap out of him. They beat the crap out of him, and when the next stop came, they waited for the doors to open, and they threw the guy out. They threw the guy out on the ground. But why was that allowed? Why was a guy allowed to just drop his pants, show his butt and his whole entire genitalia to everyone on the subway? And he did it for about 3 minutes. It wasn't just 5 seconds. It was 3 full minutes, full frontal nudity and backward nudity on a UK subway. That shows you the leadership of the UK. Remember, the Prime Minister of the UK, he recognized Palestine as a state. He's another moron. But why does this continue to happen? Again, it's the leadership. It's the leadership, and it's disgusting. I applaud those 2 guys that took action, that got rid of that moron that was on the subway showing his genitalia to children. And Judge Jeanine today at a press conference, she had enough of the BS of the mainstream media, saying, why aren't you doing anything about programs for law enforcement? Why aren't you putting more law enforcement in DC? She's like, what are you talking about? We're working on that right now. What are you talking about? This woman has done so much in just the short period of time that she was sworn in. Alina Habba is doing the same thing in New Jersey. Remember, these attorneys just got sworn in. And what did President Trump do today? He appointed more judges for the U.S. Senate to confirm. He does not want the Senate to have long recesses. He's saying when you get back from recess, all these judges are getting confirmed. He wants all the ambassadors confirmed. Enough is enough. Stop waiting. When Obama was the president in his first term, majority of his people were confirmed. But with President Trump, they take their sweet time. I blame Senate Majority Leader John Thune on this. I blame Speaker Johnson on this. But again, look to your cities, look to your states. If there's rapid crime going on, call it out. Call Congress, call DHS, call ICE. This is the most transparent presidency we ever had. The numbers are there. You Google them, you look them up. And now we go to the 4th slide to see how unconstitutional this really is that President Trump is doing. Yes, it's so unconstitutional that breaking, the president of the DC Police Union has come out in full support of President Trump's takeover of the police department. He says, we completely agree with the president that the crime in the District of Columbia is out of control and something needs to be done. The fact that we need help from federal law enforcement and maybe even the National Guard should not be a surprise. But the fact, again, that we have to go through the federal government because the mayor doesn't want to do a damn thing about it and has allowed DC to get worse, is on her. It shows what an incompetent moron idiot she is. She should be embarrassed. She should be embarrassed. People in Congress should be embarrassed too, that they've allowed their city to deal with such crime, to deal with such hilaria, such problems. Everybody should be up in arms about this. Again, I want to go to DC and feel safe. I get invited to events in DC all the time, especially at night. I won't go at night by myself. Sometimes I don't go at night at all. I only go to DC mostly in the morning for the press briefings and so forth. If I do go to a Shabbat down in DC, I make sure that I am with a lot of people and I do not drive to DC by myself. I don't do it. I refuse. Because I will not allow myself to be hurt. That's why I don't get involved with any protests or rallies down in DC, because I don't want to get hurt. Again, guys, this is real stuff. This is real stuff. And we all need to understand this. We all need to understand that we have to let President Trump do his job. Remember, he campaigned on making America safe again. And he's right. We have to make America safe. And if we don't, we won't have a country. So all these loser politicians that are combating ICE, calling for the defunding of police, supporting illegal criminals, karma is a biatch, and it will come and get you. And they're proving in the state legislators now, every single day, that if you are a congressman or a congresswoman and you continue to go against President Trump, try to sue him, combat ICE, you're subject to not having a job. Because that means you are a detriment to the nation. But you're also going against the majority of your constituents. A lot of these people get in and they don't give a darn about their constituents. They don't even see them. They see them once every 2 years, once every 4 years. They don't really care. All they care about is getting in and doing damage. They know that they're not doing the will of the people. They know that they're not doing what their voters ask them to do. They don't care. They're there for the money. And they make money from special interests and lobbyists. And everybody knows this. A congressman or congresswoman makes about only $200,000 a year, but then they end up being millionaires, multimillionaires. How is that possible? Unless you were a multimillionaire, millionaire, billionaire before you got into Congress or the U.S. Senate, there's no way. There's no way you're a millionaire, multimillionaire, unless you're getting money on the side from someone. And that's the truth. Big Pharma is one of the biggest that puts a lot of money into these candidates and into these incumbents. And we saw that. Doge exposed it. But again, my question to my audience, you come to DC, you want to come for 4th of July, you want to go to the museums are free. The National Smithsonian Museums are free. You want to go to the Holocaust Museum or the Museum of the Bible. You want to go to an event late at night in DC. Are you okay going? Do you feel safe? I don't feel safe. If I don't feel safe, I bet you guys don't feel safe either. And the last slide of this segment, President Trump also talked about something very interesting at the press conference. As he was talking about DC, he was also bringing up how New York City is really bad, Chicago, and then he talked about Baltimore and Oakland. He said Baltimore and Oakland are problems far beyond what he ever thought they would be. Now, he didn't say that because he's ignoring them. He's saying, how the hell did they get so bad? And why are they bad? And why isn't anybody doing anything about it? As I said earlier, I have contacted the president and his team about Baltimore. That's why Baltimore was mentioned. Anytime the president and his team mention Baltimore, that's because of me. It's not because of Politico. It's not because of mainstream media. It is because of me. I get to them first. Remember, I'm conservative media. Conservative media comes first before mainstream media and fake news. And I always report fairly and honestly, especially when it comes to President Trump and his policies. I told you on my show, I support President Trump and his policies. I personally endorsed him. I voted for him 3 times. I love the man. And this network supports President Trump and his policies and what he does. I would not be in the White House if I was fake news. Caroline Leavitt made it very clear that they want conservative media in there to report on the president fairly and honestly. And they're tired of the fake news mainstream media interfering and lying about the president. So when the president talks about Baltimore, that's because I mentioned it, and it's because it's the truth. Baltimore is a sanctuary county. Unfortunately, Baltimore County is starting to become Baltimore City, but we don't want it to be that way. That's why we are working on getting proper leadership in there, MAGA people, real MAGA people in there, especially on the local level and the state level, to fix Baltimore County once and for all. But again, this is serious, guys. The more that you push that your counties and your cities and your states are crime-ridden, the president will call the leadership out. They will be held accountable, and justice will be served. Again, guys, it's time to make America safe again and keep it safe. Coming up after the break, we have a brand new guest. It's my friend, Dr. Babry Oren. He's the founder of BAO Health Resources and Folium Products, and he will be with us right after the break. Oh, and also don't forget rncstore.com/ALL. That's rncstore.com/ALL. That is our affiliate sponsor. Use ALL. You get a 10% discount code. Of course, the more you spend, the more you get off. So please, guys, go to rncstore.com/ALL. Put ALL at the bottom of your purchase. You'll get a 10% off discount. And again, we'll be right back after the break with our new guest. Hi, I'm Alexandra Levine. I'm a professional opera singer, actress, TV, and radio personality. Since 2015, I've been a volunteer, a field director, and a campaign manager, learning the ins and outs of the political world. That's why I became a political consultant. My job is to lead you to victory with organization, structure, and the mindset of winning for your district or state. With my guidance and direction, I can keep you focused on the things that matter to the people and advise you on key issues that need to be addressed. If you're a serious candidate that is serious about winning, then book a consultation with me today. Go to levineconsulting.co. You'll be happy you did. Well, hello, everyone. Hello. This is Alexandra Levine live with the America's Pulse Network segment 2, everybody. We have a brand new special guest, my friend, Dr. Babry Oren. He's from the country of Georgia, which is amazing. He's the founder of BAO BioHealth Resources Corp. He also created Folium Products, and he's also a naturopath. As you know, I love naturopaths. I love, anything that's natural, that is non-chemical, going into the body. As you know, I specialize in, healthy skincare, healthy hair care. We want stuff that's vegan friendly, that's gluten free, that's animal cruelty free. And we are so happy to have Dr. Oren on. Let's bring him on.
Hello.
Hi, we can hear you. Can you hear us? Can you hear me?
Hi, how are you?
Wonderful, wonderful. So, Dr. Oren, thank you so much for coming on. I just want you to tell my audience, how did you become the founder of BAO Health Resources, and how did this come to be?
Well, first of all, let me mention I do have an accent, and your audience has to bear with me.
That's okay. This is your 2 minutes right now. So take the time, the 2 minutes that you need for the next question.
Okay, well, the thing is, I had my own personal challenges with health. I was going to go through an operation, surgery on my knees, and through my vascular stuff, and they gave me 3 options, and I had to just give them an answer before operation. And then my friend introduced me to one doctor, and the other one, the third one, and that prevented all my operations, because as it comes, our products do not, and by the way, that's my disclaimer as well, do not heal anything, do not cure anybody, do not prevent anything. They just help the body to do all that, help itself. And it helped my body to help itself, and I'm good. That's how I came to this point.
That's amazing. So I noticed like you're very intuitive with the vaccines. And we did have a guy on last week, T.S. Dixon, who talked about the vaccines, about how there's a lot of issues and there's been a lot of side effects with the vaccines. Can you kind of go into that a little bit as a doctor, as a medical doctor, where there was actually a report, and I know I sent it to you, about the more that these young men, ages 18 to 39, got the mRNA vaccines. That's the Pfizer, AstraZeneca, and Moderna. They're seeing a lot of people, young people, increasing in myocarditis, which is permanent. You can't reverse it. And they're getting heart attacks and strokes. What say you about that?
Well, vaccine, first of all, is a big fraud, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
It's a fraud because if it were legit, they would at least disclose the side effects and then let the people choose. For instance, there is no vaccine without the toxic heavy metal in it. Most of them have aluminum, lead, mercury, and all the other heavy metals. Now, those heavy metals can cause devastating health problems such as cancer, liver disease, lung disease, kidney disease, any disease you can think of. They are mother of all the diseases because they convert into an oxidative stress, and then oxidative stress is beginning of the end of person when the oxidative stress levels are high. Okay, now if they disclose what it might cause, you will make a choice, and once you make a choice, that's on you. But they don't give people the right information. That's a fraud, and it's a fraud. And let me tell you again, it's a fraud because you have to know what you're taking. If I sold you a cup of coffee, I'm gonna tell you there is a coffee, there is sugar, there is milk. But if I put something else, you better know, right?
Exactly.
And
I agree. Yeah, I agree with you.
Fraud. And we had a number of people who have taken Gardasil, for instance.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them are on our website. And a lot of them have been taken out of YouTube. For instance, one of the young ladies who at the age of 12 or 13, she was an aspiring ballerina, and they had a mandatory Gardasil requirement. Otherwise, they would not take anybody. And when she took that vaccine, to make it short, she got so sick. They tried everything, nothing helped, and she came all the way down to the official status was a walking coma.
Mm.
She could not remember anything. She still does not remember anything what happened within those 2 years. And she also became psychiatrically challenged. And then they introduced her to Dr. Schuder, Schuder, doctor from Huntington Beach, and there is not one single major university that she did not teach in about the medicine. So about psychiatry, and then when they introduced to her, she examined her, and then she determined that Gardasil has a lot of aluminum, and she went with the elimination method. Let's eliminate aluminum and find out what the cause is. If it is, then fine. If not, then go forward and look for the cause. And after taking our product like for 1 week, she started coming back, and the rest of it is history.
I'm glad that you brought up Gardasil, because when I was a young woman, the doctors were trying to push that on me as well. And it's 3 shots that you have to take. And they told me that it works against some STDs, but not all. It doesn't work against HPV, which is skin on skin contact. And now we're finding out later, fast forward with RFK Jr., the HHS secretary, that there was a lot of bad side effects to Gardasil, especially for women, because Gardasil was really only meant for women. And a lot of women can't have children because they took Gardasil. A lot of women can't have children because they took the vaccine. Same thing with men as well. Again, last week, my guest said, it's very hard for vaccinated people to procreate because the vaccine has caused a lot of issues with women's ovaries and the men's sperm. A lot of men's sperm count is low because of the vaccines. And it's very sad. There was a lot of studies that came out that people can get AIDS or HIV from the vaccines. That's even more sad because, you want to have relations with your loved one, or let's say you're myself, who's young, single, not married, and you're trying to find a mate, and you have to, put on a clipboard, vaccinated or not vaccinated. And half the country got vaccinated and half the country didn't get vaccinated. Now, I say this to you as a Jewish person because I'm Jewish too. A lot of Jewish people got the vaccine. And, Judaism, it's about kosher, it's about clean. Have you talked to a lot of Jewish people that regret taking the vaccine? I know in Israel, they mandated the majority of the Israelis to take at least 4 shots of the vaccine. And I know Bibi Netanyahu has come out and said he's very sorry for it. And I know for a fact that they're trying to find reverse antidotes to reverse the spike proteins that are in the vaccine. I know that Israel is working on an antidote for that. What say you about that?
Well, being Jewish and talking about Jewishness, if you will, does not prevent us to some of us being stupid. Stupidity, we are not immune to be stupid. Nobody is immune to be stupid. It depends on the environment. It depends on who is preaching, who is teaching, who is trying to convince you. And many people become vulnerable, and because they do in a good faith, they believe everybody and everything, whatever they say. And you don't have to be non-Jewish to be stupid. Jewish people can be stupid too, and there are lots of them. You know that.
That is true.
But it doesn't matter. But the thing is, if you take overall resistance about the vaccination, Israeli government did their part to force everybody they could. It's politics. When it comes to politics, everybody is same dirty. There is no prevention medicine. There is nothing. Politician, you have a label. You're a politician. Whatever it means to anybody and everybody. You're a politician, period. Politicians, they can sell their mother for $1 and buy another mother for 50 cents and resell it again. It's politics. When I was a young kid, I was like 15 years old. I was traveling 16 years old. I was traveling with my father in a couche on the train, and my father is asking me, "Well, next year you're gonna graduate. What do you want to become?" I said, "I don't know. Maybe mathematician, maybe physicist, maybe economist, maybe this, maybe that, and maybe doctor, maybe lawyer, maybe politician. Who knows?" And she says, "Did you say politician?" I said, "Yes." And he's smiling, takes a little pause, and then he tells me, "Son, the best politician on the planet is the person who never gets into politics." And I remember his words, and I try not to be in politics at all.
That's smart. Well, the thing is, as you know, they make everything political, but your health should never be political. It's a bipartisan thing. As far as I'm concerned, why doesn't everybody want to be healthy? Why doesn't everybody want to remove the synthetic colors and dyes and artificial stuff out of our food? It's so important. I mean, RFK Jr., he's a very fit man. He's over 70 years old. I mean, he's physically fit. He works out, and he makes me look bad. I mean, I go more to the gym because of him. Before he became the HHS secretary, I went on his diet. His diet was all about not eating anything fried or eating stuff that's natural, no preservatives, no synthetic colors or dyes, drinking not tap water, but drinking alkaline electrolyte water, drinking filtered water, which is better for you. Also, growing things. If you can grow food, great. If you can grow basil, thyme, rosemary, cucumbers, if you can have a garden and grow food, do it. It's much better. Also, he's big into seeds, plant seeds, apricot seeds, watermelon seeds, pumpkin seeds, apple seeds, any type of seed anybody should eat and preserve. It also prevents against cancer as well. I mean, all these are old school remedies that RFK Jr. wants to bring back. He also wants us to kind of eat very similar to the Europeans. The Europeans, all of their stuff is very fresh. It's non-processed. You can eat raw meat there without getting sick. You eat raw meat here in America, oh my God, you end up in a hospital for a week, or you end up in bed rest. It's so refreshing to have someone in the position that he's in, and that he wants to actually make America healthy again and keep America healthy. What say you about that?
Well, you know what? I had the privilege to meet RFK Jr. I have spoken to him briefly. You see, when it comes to being organic or being more or less nutritional, right? Eating all nutritional stuff. Unfortunately, it's not accessible to everybody every time, because it depends where they live, what kind of environment they live in. But in Los Angeles, for instance, I don't care what you eat, what you drink, how healthy, you're still sick because of the air quality.
Correct.
And let me give you one example. We have God knows how many different millions and billions types of food we can eat every day, we can choose from, all over the world, right? But also, you can survive without food maybe 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, depends on the person. We have hundreds of thousands, maybe millions of bodies of water worldwide. Just Canada and Russia, they both have over 2 million lakes each. State of Minnesota has over 10,000 lakes, state Minnesota only. Sweden has over 100,000. So we have so much water we can consume from, but we can also survive a day or 2 or 3 without water. When it comes to air, we can we can survive only 1 minute, if that much, and we have no other choice. We cannot choose from. We cannot filter. Everybody's on the same boat, same air. It circulates around the globe 24/7, and we cannot live without it more than a minute. And it's poison. We have had like 3 Mile Island, we had Chernobyl, we had Fukushima, we had all these fires, and also daily basis we have all these residuals of gasoline. And by the way, in 1969, like almost 55 years ago, in Australia they did scientific test. The gasoline, every metric ton of gasoline is burned in the air. They leave about 50 milligrams of uranium and lead. Now, 50 milligram does not sound too much, does it? It takes 20 times 50 milligram to make 1 gram. It takes 20,000 times 50 milligram to make one kilo. But think of it, all these nuclear bombs are made out of uranium, and we are breathing it. Not only that, I'll give you some homework. When you drive on the highway, look at on your right-hand side and see the bushes and grass and trees, what color they are. You would think it's green, but in the meantime, look deep inside and see other trees. What color they are? They are also green. When you get back to look on the side, you say, "Oops, it's yellow." And what makes it yellow? The gasoline.
Exactly.
Of gasoline. But you see, we are breathing it.
Mm-hmm.
We breathe it every day. And not only that, the tires pick it up and bring to our garage.
Mm-hmm.
And we have no solution for that. You want to drive, you got to face that. In the meantime, we all get sick. That's what I'm trying to tell you. You see, all get sick due to the environment. But there are some solutions. At least partially, you can help yourself. First of all, try to eat as organic as you can, and then, simply said, use our products or similar.
Well, we have a couple minutes left. So, or Oren, I wanted you to tell the audience a little bit about foliumpx.com. What is Folium mean? And what are some of your best products that you sell on your website?
Well, folium is Latin word, means leaf, like from tree, right? But Folium PX is Folium pine extract. But we have this product which was developed initially for Chernobyl victims, saved thousands and thousands and thousands of lives. And then it was tested on immune system. Now, when it comes to immune system, if you go to any vitamin store or anybody sells vitamins or supplements, 90% or more, they claim that those products, they help immune system. And the reason is that if you have in your product one single ingredient, regardless of the quantity, known as safe, or gives you immune system, helps immune system, you can make that claim. But in reality, nobody has done any tests, but we have. There have been tested hundreds and hundreds of cancer patients in the oncological hospital who were going through chemotherapy and radiotherapy, and during those procedures, the leukocytes, the white cells that are responsible for immune system, they drop a lot. And when it comes to threshold, you have to stop treatment, otherwise, person dies. And many people have been died, and many have been dying every day, and nobody's accountable for. Some of them, they don't even know what to do, and if they know, they don't care because they want to make money, fast buck, quick buck. But our products are proven on hundreds and hundreds of patients who would double blind tests, who have not taken our product as usual. Like most of them they have to stop treatment. But our product, not one single one of them have dropped the leukocytes. Not one. We have a document. We have certified by the government. Not one single person has dropped, and that's saving life because whatever you do, chemotherapy or radiotherapy, whether you like it or not, you have to complete the procedure, and many of them have not been completed because of leukocyte drops. Okay, and procedure is slowed down, and rest of it is history. Some people, when they stop treatment, some people do make back to have. First of all, you have to allow the body to naturally regenerate the leukocytes. Some people do make it back, some people don't, and those that make back, it's already too late, and some of them do survive. But in our case, everybody completed tests without any problem because they have taken this product. But then after that, we took it over. We took the product over, and we modified. Instead of liquid, we made it powder. We took the sugar out and some other stuff, and then we tested both of them, and our product bested the original one. And then once we saw the testimonials as what the first product did, we said, "Wow, it can help the others." Like for instance, one gentleman from Australia by the name of John Cook, he sent us an email saying that I tried this product for removing heavy metals, but I also had hemorrhoids, and I tried many things, and sometimes they would leave me, but they would come back after 1 week. But since 6 months ago, I took this product, and hemorrhoid left me after 1 week and never came back.
That's amazing.
Okay, so that led me to work on hepatitis B and C, because I called up a doctor by name of Tim Binder in Missoula, Montana. I said, "Doctor, is this a joke, like a Crocodile Dundee joke, or is it for real?" He says, "Of course it's real, because most of the cases, hemorrhoids come from problems with liver. If the problem is gone, then hemorrhoid is gone with it." And that led me to work on hepatitis B and C, and they're almost ready. Hopefully, within a year, we can introduce to the general public. In the meantime, we did other stuff such as folium immuno, which helps also with inflammation, infection, with the residuals um, of the vaccination, residuals of the what do you call of all the junk we have,
Mm-hmm.
gasoline, and also with the viruses. And then we also created Folium Relax, which helps also with on the top of both of them. Also helps with the emotional stuff such as anxiety, insomnia, and depression. And all three of them together, they beat many times without not one single failure. They beat the oxidative stress index. And oxidative stress index means oxidative stress levels divided by the amount of natural antioxidants in our body. When the index is high, you have to reduce it. We have not had one single failure. We have done God knows how many hundreds of tests on heavy metals, and not one single failure. We have taken out every single toxic heavy metal out of body, every single one. If you go for testing, they will test you on mostly on four major heavy metals: cadmium, lead, mercury, and aluminum. But our products take all of them. Not only take all of them, but also if you have any deficiency of the essentials such as zinc and magnesium, they will replenish it. They will bring it back up to normal. We have done all this. We have every document we need. Not only that, we have gotten recognition from the Academy of National Academy of Sciences. They printed in their own journals. They acknowledged, and they also that's what they who granted me the
That's amazing. And we have that slide up right now. But Dr. Ovry, we have to get going because we have another segment to get to. But you are just a wealth of information. Those are your multiple award winnings. Yeah, there we go. Perfect. So I encourage my audience to go to your website, to go to foliumpx.com. I am going to make a special announcement. Mr. Oren and Folium PX is now my new affiliate sponsor. So I'm very happy and excited about that. And on my next show on Thursday, we'll have a discount code for my viewers. So they can go on foliumpx.com. They can use the discount code. Of course, like I said, the more you spend, the more money you get off. And I encourage people to take Folium PX. I'm going to be taking it because I have a lot of digestive issues. And I'm all about the nutritional side of it. I think I told people I stopped taking the Omeprazole, the Zantac, the Nexium, the Pepcid AC, the Prilosec, and I started using HC1 betaine pepsin, which is a natural supplement. And since I've been using that, my heartburn, Baruch Hashem, has gone down significantly. So I'm all about trying to, help with my brain and make me stronger and help with my immune system and all about digestion. And I will be taking some foliumpx.com and taking a lot of your products, Dr. Oren, and we thank you so much for coming on.
You're welcome. My pleasure. Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Awesome. Thanks so much, guys. We will be right back right after the break.
Thank you.
And also, before we go to break, again, go to rncstore.com. That's another one of my affiliate sponsors with John Richardson. John Richardson will be on my show August 21st, Thursday night. So please put that on your calendar. John Richardson, again, August 21st, Thursday night. But please go to rncstore.com/ALL. If you don't put ALL, you don't get the discount. Again, the more you spend, the more money you get off. rncstore.com/ALL. And we'll be right back, guys, after the break.
Welcome to America's Pulse Network. This is APN's very own White House correspondent, Alexandra Levine.
This is so amazing and miraculous. We've never had a president in the history of our nation doing this. And we hope to God that he continues doing this forever and ever. Thank you. God bless you, everybody. And God bless President Trump.
And God bless you.
Hello, everyone. This is Alexandra Levine with the America's Pulse Network. I am the White House correspondent right here in the heart of D.C. as President Trump is celebrating 250 years of America and the military.
Subscribe and follow America's Pulse Network on the above social medias.
And hello, everyone. This is me, Alexandra Levine, with Alexandra Levine live on the America's Pulse Network. And yes, I am the White House correspondent for this network in the White House briefing room with Caroline Levitt, with President Trump, at the State Department, at the DOD, and so forth. It is an honor and a privilege above and beyond to be with, I call them my friends, President Trump and Caroline Levitt. Segment 3 talks about community first. I had the wonder and beauty of going to an amazing event about a guy who unfortunately died at a very young age in a motorcycle accident. His name was Denver Mullins. And his mother, Carrie Mullins, and his father, Sean, they put together this memorial for him. It will be exactly a year in September that he was killed by a semi-truck in Dundalk. And actually, our friend Tim Fazenbaker was with me, and also my friend Kim Stansberry was with me. Kim Stansberry is running for Baltimore County Executive. As you know, Tim Fazenbaker is running for Baltimore County Council District 9, but he is the elected official in this area in Dundalk, Essex, and Edgemere. And we were in the heart of Dundalk at this event. Let's put up the first slide. And that was all of us at a surrounding table. There's Tim to my left, and there's Kim to my right. And they had this thing. It was a symbol. If you put up the turtles, it was in honor of Denver. And it was a packed event. They had over 200 people there. Carrie, the mother, actually had to turn down 75 people because it was overload. It was too much, and it was too much for people to park. But there was so much love in that room. There was so much love for this young man. Now, I never met him. I wish I would have, but I got very close to the family because Tim, out of the kindness of his own heart, reached out to the family 2 months ago, asking them about Denver, asking them about their cause, Denver's legacy. And Carrie was very in awe of him reaching out because she's reached out to a lot of the elected officials in the area, and especially the Rhino ones. And not one of them had reached back out to her and said, how can we help you? But Tim, out of the kindness of his heart, did. And Tim invited them to his event that he had for his announcement of his campaign. And they were happy to be there. And Tim said, let me know, Carrie, when you're having an event, and I will be there. And she told him the day of the event, and he showed up. He showed up. The Rhino elected officials did not show up that night, but Tim showed up and Kim showed up, and that's what matters. And again, Tim doesn't do it for the votes. He doesn't do it for the photo ops. He does it because he loves the people, because he loves his district, and he loves his community, and he wants to help. And Carrie acknowledged him and Kim and myself the entire night. She said, you guys came. You didn't have to come. She didn't force us to come. We came out of the kindness of our hearts. And it was a beautiful, beautiful event. It was a beautiful event. And Tim is working with another delegate, Bob Long, to have a road or even possibly a highway in honor of Denver. It's really important, guys. It's really important who your elected officials are. And as you know, Tim is running in the most MAGA/America First district in Dundalk. As I told you, he is already the incumbent for the Central Committee, but now he's running for higher office. But of course, the Rhino establishment, they want to push a Rhino in, someone that isn't America First, someone that supports Governor Wes Moore, Johnny Olszewski, Senator Chris Van Hollen, and they want to try to ruin the district. We can't have that, guys. We have to keep Dundalk, Essex, and Edgemere MAGA and America First, and we have to elect Tim to this position. Tim will be able to do so much more for Denver and for others if he is elected. He's doing a lot now, and he's not even a councilman. He's doing more than the incumbent councilman. The incumbent councilman got himself in a little bit of trouble. He's a known drunk. His wife actually wrote a protective peace order against him because she felt she was in fear of her life. And they are currently separated. The incumbent is no longer living in his home. He's probably living with his parents somewhere. And the reports are that he is not running again. He can't run. If he did, he would lose. He's already ruined his reputation. The best he can do now is finish his term and retire and pass the torch to Tim. And that's what's going to happen. It's already been written. It's already in the books. Tim will replace the incumbent. Tim will be your next county councilman. And then there's other reports coming out that people are working with some shady people, some shady fundraising people, people that have been to jail, convicted felons. Why would any Republican work with someone who just came out of federal prison? But that's what's going on. That's what's going on. That's why we do the research. That's why you have to know your candidate, know who your candidate associates themselves with, and know what your candidate stands for. Now, I can tell you Tim's platforms are very clear. His first platform is bringing jobs back to Dundalk, bringing jobs back to Maryland, to the district. There's a bunch of artificial intelligence factories that need to open up in Maryland instead of opening up in Pennsylvania. We have the structure for them. And guess what? We need people to work in them. America first people. Americans, I should say. And who are the people that are going to be working in these AI factories? Well, people that go to trade schools, vocational schools. That's Tim's second platform. To expand on the trade schools, to expand on vocational schools. For people who choose not to go to college, they go to vocational schools and trade schools. And guess what? They have a job waiting for them when they get out. They're going to work in those AI factories. They're going to work in manufacturing jobs in Dundalk, in Essex, and Edgemere. Tim is also working on rebuilding the Francis Scott Key Memorial Bridge so that we can bring more manufacturing jobs to the Maryland area and also fix the infrastructure in Maryland. What is the third platform of Tim Fazenbaker? Safety and security. Remember what I talked about in the first segment, making DC safe again? Well, Tim is going to make Baltimore County safe again with Kim Stansberry, but he's going to make Dundalk safe again. As I said earlier, he has already been working with Thomas Homan and DHS Secretary Kristi Noem to remove the illegal criminals out of Dundalk. He already did that at his Home Depot, and he will be doing it in Walmart and all over his district until all illegal criminals are out. He will not combat President Trump on this. He will work with President Trump, ICE, and DHS, and also the environment. For those who don't know, Tim Fazenbaker worked in two very well-renowned environmental plants. Clean Harbors is one of them. Tim Fazenbaker dedicated half of his life to fixing our water, to making the water clean, making sure that the oil spill, the chemical water from East Palestine, Ohio, didn't end up in Back River. Now, Tim knows all about the Back River wastewater management sanitation plant and how it's not clean, how you can't even bathe in the water, you can't even eat or fish in the water. You can't do anything in that water without having chemicals all over your body. Tim has worked with renowned environmentalists, and he will be working with the EPA, with Congressman Lee Zeldin, former Congressman Lee Zeldin, to bring him here, to have him test that water, to have him test Back River, and to show the American people the incompetence of the plant and how the whole entire sanitation plant needs to be torn down, rebuilt, and made better so that it really can desanitize the chemicals coming out of Back River. Back River smells like crap. You drive down I-695, and the smell is just atrocious. Tim is also working with Trade Point Atlantic, which is a huge trade company. They're part of the backbone of Dundalk. They used to be Bethlehem Steel. And a lot of those jobs are coming back to Trade Point. The Vice President, Aaron Tamarchio, is going to be bringing back American Steel to Trade Point Atlantic, which is something that he and Tim are working on, as well as those artificial intelligence jobs, as well as making sure that people from Dundalk are hired to work at Trade Point Atlantic. And you can thank Tim for that. Him working with Trade Point with Aaron Tamarchio has been a great success. And Tim is going to be working with as many people as he can to make Dundalk prosper again, to make Dundalk the way that he knew when he was born. Tim came back to Dundalk after living in Pennsylvania for years because he wanted to come back to where he grew up. But he's seen how the area has changed, and not for the better, for the worse. And that's why he's running, to make the district and the county and the state better. That is the type of person we want in leadership. That is the type of person that needs to get in. That's the type of person you vote for. That's the type of person we support and endorse. So please, guys, go to timfazenbaker.com. Make a donation to him today. Tim, Fazenbaker. You can also message him on X at America Tim Faze. Also, Truth Social at Tim Fazenbaker. Also on Instagram at Tim Faze. Please, guys, please, let's put the right person in office. If you want to go to Tim's website to see his platform, go to tim at timfazenbaker.com. That's Tim at Fazenbaker. And let's show the next couple slides of the event that we were at. So that is actually Carrie Mullins. That's the mother of Denver. She is a lovely woman. She's the one that praised Tim and I and Kim throughout the whole entire event. But again, no loss is greater than losing your child. And this woman lost her child innocently, and she is fighting every day, and she's keeping his name alive and memorializing him. And those are her children next to her in that picture. And they did raffles, and they raised a lot of money for Denver that night. And I was so happy to be a part of it and contribute, and Tim as well and Kim as well. And then the next slide, please. So to the left is part of the silent auction and part of the raffle. And to the right is a picture of Tim with Baltimore County Executive candidate Kim Stansbury. Please go to electkimstansbury.com. That's electkimstansbury.com. She's running for Baltimore County Executive. If she wins, she'll be the first elected woman to be the Baltimore County Executive. But again, it's not about gender. It's not about race. It's about who can do the job. And I can tell you that Kim Stansbury knows the role of Baltimore County Executive better than anybody. She knows the legislation. She knows how to govern. She loves her county. She will do anything for her county. And she really deserves to be in there. And she and Tim will work together and make the county and the state better. So please, guys, get these people in office. They're good people. And people are so threatened by America First and MAGA people in Maryland, especially in hardcore Republican areas. It's really sad. The rhinos are really pushing hard to try to make sure that America First people don't get in. But guess what? It's not going to happen. President Trump is already aware of the Baltimore County Council race. He knows the districts. He knows who's MAGA. He knows who's not. The president is very well in tune with these local races, and he wants the proper people in office. And of course, guys, don't forget our campaigns that we have going on. We have Seth Eisenberg, our GoFundMe with Seth. As you know, he was in the hospital for over a month. He almost lost his foot. We continue to raise money for him. Help by donating to Jonah Eisenberg /health/crisis. He's raised over $6,500. The goal is $10K. The final goal is $100K. We love Seth. We want him to get better. He is getting better, but he's got bills to pay, and he's got a son to support. So please, guys, go to Seth Eisenberg's GoFundMe. Help by donating to Jonah Eisenberg today. And of course, my friend Allison Reedy on her Give, Send, Go. All she wants is her son, Dylan, to go to college. And all he wants to do is go to one college in Utah. But he can't go unless he's got money. Out-of-state tuition is really expensive. So please go to givesendgo.com/constitutional. These are America First people. These are constitutional people. And please, guys, please raise some money for Allison Reed, for her son, Dylan. And instead of giving money to criminals and murderers and illegals, give money to Dylan Reedy today. And of course, we have our good friend, Lucretia Hughes. This woman beat the goal. The goal was $10,000. She raised $10,895, almost $11,000 for her home. This woman is a fighter. This woman is an amazing human being. Amazing. Please, guys, go to her, givesendgo.com, retake our home. She is fighting for her home. Her home was illegally possessed, and she's working with a lawyer right now to get her home back. But she has exceeded her goal. She's got tons of fans, tons of people helping her out. She's a hardcore patriot. We love her. And please, guys, go to her, givesendgo.com/retake our home. And again, guys, don't forget tomorrow night is The Pulse. From 8 to 9 p.m., I will be hosting. Lucretia Hughes will be a special guest with the base mother, Elena Barbara, and we have some other special guests. Of course, Popeye the Sailor Man, Seth Eisenberg will be there. Damon Galdo's off tomorrow night. He'll be back the following week. But The Pulse is a great show. It's a 5-person panel. We talk about all current events, all different topics. Our show is booming, and it's a great show, and people love watching it. So please, guys, tomorrow night, The Pulse. If you really want to know what I'm going to wear tomorrow night, I'd advise you to come on and watch. Tomorrow night, The Pulse from 8 to 9 p.m. And, of course, don't forget, we have an amazing show, The Jersey Shore, every Monday night from 8 to 9 p.m. with Damon Galdo, at Damon Galdo. Follow him on Facebook at Damon Galdo on X. He's also on Friday nights from 8 to 9 p.m. with a repeat of his radio show, The Jersey Shore. So Mondays and Friday nights is dedicated to Damon Galdo. Please go and watch his show. And, of course, don't forget to watch our friend Popeye the Sailorman, Seth Eisenberg, The Conservative Corner, every Sunday night from 7 to 8:30 p.m. That is where you all should be every Sunday night, 7 to 8:30 p.m. Hello, The Conservative Corner every Sunday nights. We love The Conservative Corner. We love Seth Eisenberg, and viewer discretion is always advised. And of course, don't forget to visit our website, americaspulsenetwork.com. If you'd like to be a sponsor, an affiliate sponsor, or just a regular sponsor for my show, for all the shows for the network, please go and fill out the form. And of course, if you're interested in being a podcaster, we have gotten multiple people that have filled out the application to be podcasters. We're always looking for new podcasters, and we do a thorough review of who we want on our podcast, because we have to have people that, identify with us and, identify with our platform. So please, guys, if you're interested in being a podcaster, if you already had a podcast, you want to expand on it by working with our network, please go to americaspulsenetwork.com, fill out the podcaster form and the sponsorship form. And of course, don't forget to follow us. Please like and subscribe at America's Pulse Network on YouTube, at America's Pulse Network on Rumble, at America's Pulse Network on Parler now, at America's Pulse Network. Now we are on TikTok. So we're on YouTube, we're on Rumble, we're on TikTok, we're on Parler, and True Social. I feel like I'm losing another one. So we're on 5 platforms already. So at America's Pulse Network. And of course, guys, don't forget to follow me, Alexandra Levine, on Facebook, at Alexandra, Levi20 on X, at AirLevine85 on my Rumble channel, at AirLevine85 on my Instagram, at AirLevine85 on my Truth Social, and at AirLevine85 on my TikTok. I just came up with the TikTok platform. And at Levine Consulting on YouTube. Thanks, guys, for watching. I just want to acknowledge some of the people that made the comments tonight. My friend Donald Willinger, thanks again for being on. There's some other guys on. Derek Windsor. Hannah, why isn't Tim doing this live session? Because Tim is working right now, actually. Tim does come on The Pulse, and he will be on frequently. He's a special rotating guest on The Pulse. But please, Hannah, I encourage you to go to timfazenbaker.com, make a nice donation to his campaign. And Derek Windsor, I am a political consultant. Thank you again. So thank you guys for the comments. Thank you all for being a part of my show. And the reason you listen and the reason you watch is you are no idiot.
America's Pulse Network. The mainstream media is bought and paid for. The truth is twisted to fit their agenda. But America is waking up, because podcasts are the future for trusted media. Welcome to the America's Pulse Network. It is a network built by patriots that upholds the Constitution. The America's Pulse Network stands for God, truth, and the America First movement. There is no corporate propaganda, no government spin, just real news, real talk, and real voices fighting for faith, freedom, and the future of this great nation with common sense. Here are some of America's Pulse Network podcasts. Alexandra Levine Live, hosted by Alexandra Levine. Jersey Shore Podcast, hosted by Damon Galdo. The Conservative Corner, hosted by Seth Eisenberg. APN's The Pulse, hosted by Alexandra, Damon, and Seth. So tune into America's Pulse Network on the following social media platforms: X/Twitter, Rumble, Truth Social, Facebook, and YouTube. Join the revolution. Because the pulse of America beats for God and country. America's Pulse Network is for faith, family, freedom, and truth.